You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 474 of the Battle Heron Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Garana, and alongside me, as you can see, is still not KBD. He is still on vacation. He's living La Vida Loca. I believe he's going to be back soon, but should be back by tomorrow. That's what he told me, that he'll be here tomorrow. But we couldn't wait, man. Miami keeps wheeling and dealing. The rich get richer. The MLS Cup champions, the best team in the league. And hopefully soon the best team in the continent if they are able to win the Champions Cup come June 2nd. Added another huge piece yesterday. So much so that we couldn't wait to talk about it because Micael from Palmeiras, formerly of the Houston Dynamo, is a left-footed center back. And he kind of just fits what Miami has been looking for, which is size. We've been looking for size because we are undersized at the center's back position. That's why we've always been saying that we like Toto Aviles back there, even though he can't play because he always makes those boneheaded errors. We talk about possibly playing Ian Frey back there because he has the size that we kind of want a center back, even though they kept slotting him in at right back. But Micael, 6'3", 185 pounds, left-footed. I think he fits the profile of exactly what you want. And shout out to Mohammed saying, finally, we got our new center back. Mike V, shout out to you. Happy New Year. Why are you up so early? I am up early every day. If you guys are fans of the Miami Heat, go check out the Battered Heat Fans. We drop episodes every morning. Me and Solana, we talk Miami Heat just about every morning. So I am up early in the mornings doing Miami Heat podcast usually, and I'm just an early bird as it is. But back to talking about Micael. Shout out to 89 Stubbs. Yes, I love these moves also. 89 Stubbs saying he loves these moves. And Ash Pretam, good morning, Team Campeon. Yes, absolutely. It's the rich get richer because one of the reasons that we looked so good to end the season. I was talking about it yesterday. If you haven't checked it out already, I did a show about Mascherano and if he's kind of grown into being a good head coach. And I felt like he has because in the last 9 games of the season, the beginning of October all the way to December 6th, they played 9 games and the aggregate score for those 9 games was 33-8. I'm sorry, 33-8. 33 goals for, 8 against. Our defense was the biggest difference. And our defense took a step up not only because the defense wasn't playing as aggressively, but because Jordi Alba wasn't pushing up as high as consistently, because he had Silvetti a lot of times kind of helping on in the attack. So his offensive responsibilities kind of took a step back a little bit. So he wasn't caught off out of position as much. But we are now adding Micael, which is with Palmeiras, he didn't have a great stay. So I'll start there. He got purchased from Houston Dynamos. He played for 2 years with the Houston Dynamos. He went to Palmeiras. He didn't have the best of stays. Obviously, that's why he is out on loan now. But while he was with Houston, he was their best defender. And in 2024, they had the second best defense in the league. The only team that was better was the Seattle Sounders. The second best defense in the league. And he was voted by Houston and the team the defender of the year for that team. So when you are the defender of the year for the team that has the second best defense in the league, that says a lot. And I reached out to a few Houston podcasts yesterday that we've had on the show in the past, on the MLS show at least. And I asked them a couple questions because I wanted to get, what they thought. And my biggest concern is, how's his pace? Yes, he's big, but how is he on the ball? Can he pass? Is he good, handling pressure? And also, how is his recovery speed? Because we know that we lack pace. And because we play such a high line, a lot of time that kind of, that affects us because we're constantly trying to run back. 89 Subs saying, Danny, will y'all do members only shows? Maybe pick, yes, we are in talks about doing that. Chris, I haven't been able to talk to Chris because he's been out and about, and I don't want to bother him when he's on vacation with his family. But yes, we are gonna start doing some members only shows also. But that's for we'll tell you more about that when we get closer to that. But absolutely, shout out to Atwad White, fan from India. Shout out to you. So I'm gonna get to what they told me. So Bayou City Soccer, um, the friends of the show, they've been on our MLS show quite a bit. Um, so this is what they told me. He's a great one-on-one defender. He's also good with the ball at his feet. All right, he's left-footed, good with the ball at his feet. And Houston's struggle last season was a lot because they lost him, because they went from having one of the best defense in the league to where were they at last year defensively? I know they had the second best the year before, and then last year, well, they fell off big time. They didn't make the playoffs. They allowed 56 goals, so they were one of the worst defenses in the league. Now they don't want to attribute everything to him, but that was a huge loss. And then what else did they say? He's big and physical, and being left-footed is such a rarity in center backs. His recovery speed is the reason that many errors that led to counterattacks were stopped in 2024. So his recovery speed is one of his strengths. So obviously, and I think that that's one of the great things about Noah Allen is that whenever we were getting beat on the counter, Noah Allen's recovery speed kind of stood out because he was by far the paciest of all our defenders. And apparently, Micael has great recovery speed. So he's a great one-on-one defender. He's good on the ball. He's left-footed. He has good recovery speed. He's 6'3", so he could probably win some good aerial duels. I think Miami just added one hell of a piece. Like, I know that there's certain pieces that you get excited about, but the reason that I'm most excited about this is because last year people were getting excited about Lujan, for example. Nobody knew what he was going to be, but because he was new, everybody had high hopes. Let's get excited about Lujan. Who else? I'm forgetting somebody else. But we get excited for players because we hope that they can become what people are saying, right? Delasco Segovia, Baltasar Rodriguez, like all these players, like, oh, they're coming in. Hopefully they're good. Let's see what they can do. Obando. But this player has experience in the MLS, right? Falcon, we thought, oh, he's going to be a great player. We've heard a lot of good things about him, but then he starts off poorly. Now, he ended up being our best defender the second half of the year, but it took him time to adjust. It takes players some time to adjust to the MLS. Look, Lujan never adjusted because Lujan was just bad all year round. But it usually takes players some time to adjust to the MLS. And right now, we're not in a position where we can wait for somebody to develop or get used to the MLS because apparently our biggest goal is the Champions Cup. The Champions Cup is right then. You start playing Champions Cup games immediately once the season starts in March. The final is in June 2nd. So you don't have time to wait for Falcon, for example, like last year to adjust because Falcon had a rough start. He finally started picking it up during the Club World Cup. But with Micael, you don't have to worry about that. Micael is in form. He knows how to play. He played for the Houston Dynamo. He was one of the best defenders in the league just 2 years ago. So we now have somebody that is proven in this league. So much so that one of the biggest clubs in Brazil went ahead and they bought him. Now it didn't work out, but that's fine. The quality level in the Brazilian league and the MLS is two different worlds. He's going to come back here. He played great. And I think that this is a huge, huge get. Obviously, we can't replace Jordi Alba's production in the attack with Region, but it's impossible to replace what Jordi Alba brought you. But all in all, I just wanted to get on here just to talk about how excited I am because I really do believe that this signing is just going to be like it's crazy. It's crazy what Inter Miami is doing. And my understanding is that they're not even done. I keep hearing people on Twitter saying that they're looking into more pieces. And what's really exciting is that I keep hearing about them trying to get pieces, but within the MLS, which I think is great because then you don't have to worry about players adjusting to the MLS. Like it's players that are proven now. Hopefully they're players that have dual citizenship or are American that have proven themselves so that they don't have to get any more international spots. But the MLS, I think, is something that Inter Miami hasn't really wanted to tap into. They've kind of been focused on South America, which I love, by the way. But I think it's great if they start bringing players that are from the MLS, make their roster assignments a little less complicated. They started with Dane Sinclair, best goalkeeper in the league. Let's bring him on. And let's see where this goes because I can't say enough about how excited I am about Micael and what he's going to bring. Because defensively, now there is a part of this that does suck. Because I think Noah Allen played his ass off last year, and he did a great job. Um, First half probably better than the second half of the year, but I thought he did a great job. And now, I'm Mikael is coming here to be a starter. I'm 100% sure that the starting duo is going to be Mikael on the left and Falcon on the right. So I think it sucks that Noah Allen will probably not be a starter next year. Um, but the when you take into account that your center back duo is going to be Micael, which again, it's not a question mark. He was good in the MLS. Micael on the left, Falcon on the right, which was great for us in the second half of the year and in the playoffs. That's your starting duo. That might be the best starting duo in the league. And then you have behind those two, Dane St. Clair, which is the best keeper in the league last year. And then your backup is Noah Allen, which is a starting MLS Cup center back. Like, say what you want about him. I think he was great last year. Some people say that they didn't think he was good. Say what you want. He was a starter on the MLS Cup winning team. And he is now the backup for the team. On the right, oh my God, I forgot the new right back's name. Is it Mora? I forgot his name. But we have a new right back. They just confirmed him yesterday. Facundo Mura, is it? Well, he's going to be the starting right back. I don't know how good he really is. Everybody's excited about him, but we have a new starting right back. Whether he's starting or not, you have Ian Frey, which I think is one of the best right backs in the league. He is a MLS Cup starting right back, and he would technically be the backup or the starter. I think you are set at right back with whether it be Mura or Frey starting, which I love Frey. I think that Frey should start. Say what you want, whatever. But maybe Mura would be great also. But Ian Frey, if he is the backup, you have Ian Frey as a backup, and he is one of the best right backs, in my opinion, in the league. You have Noah Allen as a backup center back. And then on the left back, you have Region, and then you're going to have Noah Allen as probably the backup left back there also, because Noah Allen is going to be that Swiss Army knife like Lujan was this year. But for the left side, I think that this defense is looking crazy. Now, because you signed Micael, because you have Falcon, I think they have to figure out how to get out of the Toto Avila's contract, because he is taking up a U22 initiative spot. And you can't waste one of those spots on somebody that's not going to play. Toto Aviles is not going to play, and if he plays, he's not going to play much. And you cannot waste that roster spot on somebody that's not going to play. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I trust Inter Miami because they get very creative with their moves. But he cannot be here. And then Lujan's getting paid more than $500,000, I believe. Lujan also won't be playing much. Mascherano finally came to terms with the fact that Lujan was not that guy, and he's been on the bench also. So I think that Lujan and Toto Aviles, I would hope, are not here very much longer, because they need that roster space and the cap space, because I think that they have now their starters and their backups on this team. And the defense that we saw in the playoffs was looking good. With these additions, we might be better. Now, obviously, I don't know Mura. I can't speak to him. But the reason I think that the defense will be better is because even if Mura isn't good, I trust that Ian Frey can come in and do the job. So hopefully Mura works out. If not, Frey could also play some center back. I love the depth that this team it looks like it's going to have. And that's not even talking about the rest of the roster, which me and Chris are going to get into that tomorrow, because I really do believe when I look at this team, it's going to be better than the team from last year. And it's not going to be like a question mark, like, ooh, can this roster be better? No, we're going to look at this and we're going to go piece by piece. And this roster is going to be better than last year's, which is crazy to say, because, and according to Michelle Kaufman, Allende is going to be back also. Now, it can't be for a DP. I would hope. I'm gonna go with my gut and say that it's not a DP contract. So because I think that would be a horrible business move. Maybe they let Allende sign with another team for big money, and then that team loans him out to Miami for half the season, so he's here for the Champions Cup run. I could see something like that, or maybe they let him sign here for the full year. So I could see that. Maybe Allende gets paid big money to go somewhere else, but they immediately loan him to Miami for half a year or a year. Maybe something like that, but they cannot give him a DP. I think I've seen Inter Miami's front office be savvy enough where they wouldn't do something like that. And I think that DP spot will get, like I've said, I've been saying it for weeks now. We have an open DP spot, but don't expect it to be filled before the summer, because the big name players, the big impact players, none of them are coming to the MLS before the World Cup. So if we're going to use up that DP spot, expect it to be in the summertime and not now. But yeah, Michelle Kaufman says that Allende will probably be back. And then it's me. If it's a DP, would you be mad? Absolutely, I would be mad, because I still don't trust that Allende can duplicate what he did in the playoffs for a full season. I don't. I saw more bad than good. And I've been trying to talk nicely about Allende since the playoffs, because we've seen I've seen so many good things. But and then Luis Barrios is saying, add to the list Tristan Blackman. Well, I'm not sure to what list of players that Miami is going to look to get. I'm not sure, but Tristan Blackman was the reigning defensive player of the year, I believe, this past year. But yeah, so I do not think that they'll be signing a DP player, but I do think that this defense has taken a huge step up, because the size that we've been lacking, Micael kind of fills that in. Micael fills that in. Vancouver is losing all their players. Shame. What are you guys talking about? He fills that in, and I like I said, tomorrow we're going to come on here and we're going to talk about a lot more in detail about the differences between last year and this year. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting caught up with the chat, because I wasn't sure what Luis was talking about. And hopefully we add Moises, the kid from Bolivia, coming off the bench for Allende. Well, I do think that they're I do think that they are going to take a step up. And Luis Barrios is here saying, and Tristan is a heck of a defender, and he is coming. Is Tristan Blackman a free agent? Tristan Blackman. Now I don't see. No, he signed through 2027. So I'm not sure where Luis is getting his information. Tristan Blackman was the defender of the year. I think that it would be absolutely bonkers for Miami to look, Luis Barrios. I don't remember seeing you very often in the chat. You seem very adamant. Are you Tristan Blackman's agent? Because you seem pretty adamant about he is coming. This is the first I hear about anything about another defender. I feel like if you're going to go ahead and get the defender of the year, which Tristan Blackman, I believe, was last year. Let me double check. Am I talking about the right person? Maybe I'm talking about the wrong person. Tristan Blackman. Yeah, he was we're talking about the same person. He was defender of the year. Now, Luis, I don't see how he would be coming, because we have Falcon. As far as I know, he's staying. Falcon is staying. Micael is on his way, unless the Micael thing was smoke and mirrors and he's really not coming. But I'm understanding he's coming. I don't see where the defender of the year for the MLS would come in here and where he would even fit. But that would be interesting. I mean, the MLS fan bases would burn down the league offices if we picked up the defender of the year and the goalie of the year and brought him to Miami. That would be crazy. But no. But as of right now, Micael is the signing. Micael is looking really, really good as a signing, and I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come, because Mr. Peach, that's a really good point. Who will now be the brim of the team? Messi is the heart, but not the brain. Oh, and Mr. Peach is saying we're gonna miss Busquets and Alba. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you cannot, um, you cannot. I'm sorry, Luis. Luis Barrios saying he will be announced this coming week. Luis Barrios coming in hard. All right, Luis. Well, according to Luis Barrios, we're gonna add the defender of the year. Well, who knows? No, that would be funny. Yeah, and yes, he was the defensive player of the year. That would be pretty crazy. But we are gonna lack with we're missing Busquets and Jordi Alba, which and Boss Daddy saying Luis is wild, and yeah, that sounds kind of crazy. Um, we're missing Busquets and Jordi Alba. Now, the Busquets replacement is Rodrigo De Paul. I don't think that Rodrigo De Paul is going to fill in that necessarily that sixth role. I think that's going to be Yannick Bright, and I think Rodrigo De Paul is going to be given the freedom to play more of a box to box role. So I think that it's going to be like a combination, right? If you're talking about who's going to replace what Busquets does, well, Bright defensively, which is about a defender, and then Rodrigo De Paul as far as the attack goes. And if De Paul replaced Busquets, who replaces De Paul? Nobody replaces De Paul. I felt like we were at a lockjam because we had three starting caliber center defensive midfielders. Now, obviously, De Paul and Busquets are far higher on the totem pole than Bright, but Bright is a starting center defensive midfielder. He is really good at that position. And for those of you that really hadn't had a chance to watch him too much, he is and will probably end up being one of the best center defensive midfielders in the league this year. So he is I think if he didn't lead, he was like up there in top 5 in interceptions per 90 minutes last year in 2024. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think they're going to be great. And then Dane will be coming as the third goalkeeper. And then yes, we got Dane St. Clair and Luis Barrios. We got to talk off camera, Luis, because you seems like you got a. Look at Luis. Look at. And Luis Barrios, shout out to Luis. He's saying that David Ayala is in the mix. Now here I am talking about Bright being one of the best center defensive midfielders, and Luis is out here throwing out one of the best center defensive midfielders being in the mix also. Luis Barrios, shout out to you. I don't know if in your world there's a salary cap or roster restrictions, but I think that Miami's in the mix for everybody, right? Because I hear that Miami's in the mix for just about everybody coming overseas. Now, I do like that they're now getting linked to players that are in the MLS because I do think that is interesting. I think that it's a great way to do it when you get the best players in the MLS because you don't have to wait for them to adjust. I really like what Miami's doing. But yes, so Micael, Falcon, probably best center back pairing in the league. You have Mura with Frey behind them, which makes me feel comfortable because even if Mura doesn't work out, like a lot of people felt like Chelo wasn't working out, you have Frey behind him. You have Region on the left side. He definitely won't give you what Jordi Alba gave you in the attack, but defensively, I think he's going to be great. And then you have Sid Betty. Obviously, what you're going to lack with Jordi Alba's creativity from the back, Sid Betty's going to fill up that left side, and we're going to be okay there. We have so much on this team, and again, we're going to get more into detail next episode, which will be tomorrow night when Chris comes back. But we'll be comparing last year's team to this roster, which we have so far, and according to Luis, we still have big pieces to add. Which honestly, the pieces that Luis, have you heard anything about a winger? Because I feel like we're set at center back at the moment. We're set at center defensive midfielder with DePaul and Bright. Like, have you heard anything about a wingers? Because wingers is what we need. And then this will be a menace of a team playing direct with Allende and Silvetti. Absolutely. Because according to Michelle Kaufman, Allende is coming back. So Silvetti on the left, Allende on the right. I'm hoping Messi playing the false 9. This team is going to be a juggernaut coming up this year. So, and Boss Daddy, Luis is a West Coast player agent confirmed for sure because he didn't just go MLS. He went far West Coast. He went Vancouver and Portland. And then Luis is asking ChatGPT, you know what would be really funny? And shout out to Luis, because I'm not discrediting you, Luis. I don't recognize your name from many live shows in the past, but I don't want to discredit you. Maybe you do know what you're talking about. But it would be really funny if he really comes through in the clutch with these names, because that would be crazy. Could you imagine, right? Just hypothetical, right? Because Luis is saying it. I find it hard to believe because I don't see how it would work. But in hypothetical world, could you imagine? You saw how upset the other fan bases got when it was announced that Dane St. Clair, the goalkeeper of the year, was going to the defending champs, Inter Miami. And everybody's like, what the hell? And then you now say, possibly, that Tristan Blackman, the defender of the year in the MLS, is also going to go to the defending champs. Could you imagine the other 29 fan bases? Like the I don't even know what to say. Like, could you the MLS would completely just shut down. The fan bases would that would be so effing crazy. I mean, it would be hilarious, honestly. But that would tell me that they are all in on the Champions Cup, because a team like that is, and they might get Moises. Sticking point is the kid's brother. You know what? I don't even know who Moises is. So Luis, you can enlighten me with there, but Luis was with all the cheese. Luis, we're gonna have to get you on here as a co-host, put you in the corner so you can just be our stat guy and give us all the dirt, because you got it all. You know, I don't even know who Moises is, but he's talking about Moises and his brother. So it's gonna be fun, man, this year. Look, I'm already excited about the team. I already think that this team is looking like it's going to be much better than last year. And we're adding defenders of the years. We're adding goalkeepers of the years. We're adding better center defensive midfielders. It's so much going on right now. It's and then look, let's keep adding. Luis, keep going. Luis, keep giving me more names. Luis Barrios, Moises is a U22. We're going on a 4-2 setup for now. 4 U22s and 2 DPs until we loan Aviles. Ooh, look at yes. You know what, Luis? Shout out to you, just because what you're saying is kind of crazy, but at the same time it makes sense. So hopefully you're right. Because for those that don't know, every team has 3 DP. They have 3 DP spots. They can use 3 DP spots, but they don't have to. If they choose to go 2 DPs, they are allowed to get 4 U22s. So you are allowed at the beginning of the year to set up which route you want to take. Do you want to go 3 DPs, 3 U22s, or do you want to go 4 U22s and 2 DPs? Now, every team has is allowed to do that. And in the summer transfer window, you're allowed to change your designation, and you can change it to 3 and 3. So because Toto Aviles is taking up the U22, and it probably is easier to move on from a Toto Aviles during the summer transfer window when all the other leagues are in their off season, it probably makes sense what Luis is saying. Shout out to Luis. I need Luis. You need a beer. We need to go out for a drink. So what Luis is saying makes sense as far as, and I had forgotten about that. So good point to Luis, that we can still get a U22 since we only have 2 DPs, because at the moment we have 3 U22 spots taken up. We have Silvetti, Segovia, and Toto Aviles. So we're saying we got to get rid of Toto Avila so we can go ahead and get another U22. But because we only have 2 DP spots taken at the moment, we could just get a 4th U22 and change our designation to 4 U22s and 2 DPs. So that is great. That's a great take by Luis, because I had forgotten about that, and that is 100% true. Luis, Micael is on loan and will make $400K and a half paid by Miami. Bargain deal. Yes, that is a huge bargain. Could you imagine he's getting paid? He's going to get paid less, half of what Lujan is getting paid. Lujan got to go. Lujan's got to go. Toto Aviles has to go. But again, it's going to be easier to get rid of Toto Aviles during the summer. And shout out to. That's not true, Soccer HD. I remember you watching here live. Shout out to you. Or maybe I've seen you on the MLS pod watching live. But shout out to Soccer HD watching live. Oh, and shout out to Dayovic. Daniel football analysis is amazing. Thank you. I really thought that was going to be an insult, and I was going to read it just because I thought you were insulting me. Because I'm okay with the insults. I find them kind of funny. My wife thinks I'm crazy because especially, and I saw Jesse Smith somewhere here. Shout out to Jesse Smith. Jesse Smith is that up. Like I don't know if it's he or she. Shout out to either one of you, brother. But they insult me so much in the comments after YouTube, and I just can't help but laugh. And my wife thinks I'm crazy because I find it also funny. But hey, if you don't have thick skin, you can't do this. I promise you. But yes, Jesse, we do have 2 DPs at the moment, and then Jesse, she. Okay, shout out to Jesse. We have 2 DPs at the moment, which is only Messi and Rodrigo De Paul. We could get a third, but again, because of the World Cup being in the summer, no big name is going to come and take a chance of their nation not choosing them because they feel like they're playing in a lower league, I guess is the best way to say it. So they're going to just wait until the summertime. So I expect big names coming, not just to Miami. I expect big names coming to the MLS period this summer, which is very exciting for the league. We're going to be talking a lot about that on the Battered MLS Fans. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out, that channel, and subscribe. But I don't think anybody is coming. And I was going to wrap this show up like 15 minutes ago, but then we started giving us some theories there that I really, really like it. And then Luis saying thank you, but I have deep connections inside. Okay, exactly. We will change in the summer. All right. Well, Luis, we got to change. We got to exchange info because I need to get some more 411 from you because it seems like you got it all. But look, if Luis is on the money, right? So just for the sake of today's show, we're gonna go with Luis. You are the Adam Schefter. I'm gonna start calling you Adam. He is the Adam Schefter. He is the I'm trying to remember the name of from other sports, but whatever. We're going with Adam Schefter. You are the Adam Schefter. So we're going to say that Luis has those inside connections, and he's giving us the inside scoop. So let me lay this out for you right now. We have Region on the left with Noah Allen as a backup. We have Mura on the right with Ian Frey as a backup. I feel comfortable with that. Then at center back, we have Falcon on the right side. We have Micael on the left side. And then we have the MLS Defender of the Year as our backup. And then at goalie, we have Dane St. Clair, which is the goalie of the year for the MLS last year. And then as a backup, we have the MLS Cup winning Rocco Blacco. How are people not going to be upset at us? Like, I'd be upset at us because this team is like, again, I'm going all off of what Lewis is saying. I don't know if there's any truth to that. It would be freaking absolutely bonkers. Look, if there is some truth, and Lewis, I'm not doubting you, okay? So no disrespect to you because I again, I don't remember seeing your name too often. I don't know if you've said anything like this in the past, but if what you're saying is true, Tristan Blackman at that point, you have to start wondering if they're going to go 3 in the back, right? Because those are 3 starting caliber players. I can't imagine that Tristan Blackman would sign here knowing that he's going to be a backup. I think that he would have to be a starter. And Micael, same thing. Or, I mean, I guess since Micael is getting paid $400K, you could have him as a backup. That's one hell of a backup to have. He also said David Ayala, which is a great center defensive midfielder. I believe he's Argentine. But if he comes in as a center defensive midfielder, would that mean that it's a double pivot of him and Bright with Rodrigo De Paul playing kind of like the box-to-box 8 or almost like a 10 role? Like, there's so many question marks with Luis. I don't even think we have that many roster spots available because that would put us at like 1 million players on the roster. Luis, it's Miami going hard at the kid from Bolivia, and people will fall in love with him. He is fast and very charismatic. Wanted big time in Germany, but sticking point is at the moment is his brother. Okay. Well, Luis, I don't know if this is the first time you join us. If it is, I recommend you keep joining us more often, especially on the lives, because it's very look, if it doesn't come true, if nothing else, you've made this show very entertaining and very fun, because I was supposed to be here for 20 minutes, and you've really rock and rolled and made this show a lot more interesting. Thank you. Just excited because front office is actually adding good players, not so much about the shirt selling. Yes, that is huge. And again, if all of this is true, and if it's, even if it's not, if Luis, maybe you had like your source, maybe it was off a little bit, and none of that happens. I came on here before Luis started throwing out those other names, and I thought the Micael signing already put us over the top defensively. And Luis is working at the Inter. He must be. And we're going to have a rock solid team. Look, we already have a rock solid team. That's what I'm saying. And you will call me Friday for the beer. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna have to hit you up, Luis, because hit me up on the DMs, Luis, because we need to talk. Because that's crazy work right there. But look, that's it. We're going to be on here a couple times this year. I don't know if you guys have noticed. This is January 4th, and I think I've already dropped 3 shows without Chris. Chris is going to be back. We're rocking and rolling this year. We're excited. I don't know if it's that we just won the chip, so we like, I want to talk Inter Miami all day, every day. So get ready, because if you guys are up for talking and listening about Inter Miami every day, and we're going to be on here a lot more often, because this is going to be a really fun year. If a lot of this stuff is true, what Luis is saying, which I feel like he's kind of sinking his heels in, right? Like it sounds like he's again, but maybe Luis, maybe we'll never see you again. Like Arsenal guy, like that showed up for the first couple weeks of 2023 and then he disappeared forever, or 2024. But just the next time show. So tomorrow night, Monday night, 9:00. This is what I'm gonna do for 2026. I'm gonna start the shows at 9:05 like I usually do, okay? But for those of you watching live or watching later, and you guys like to and you guys go ahead and you watch this after the fact. But for those of you that watch live, just know that I put 9:05 because YouTube doesn't let me put after bedtime. Like, so I know that you guys give us a lot of crap because we're never on time. I come on here after my kids go to bed. I try to put them to bed. I try to get them to be done. So just know that even if the show says it starts at 9:05, just know that 9:05 means after bedtime, meaning once my kids fall asleep, then I'll be on here. Okay. So I'm sorry. We try to be on here punctually, but I kids come first. Got to get them to bed before the school day. So yeah. All right. I'm always watching. Oh, shout out to Luis. I appreciate you, Luis. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. This team is looking like it's rocking and rolling. According to Luis, we're going to have we're forming the Avengers. You know what? Is there a villain group? Is it, will we say the NWO? Or we're forming the NWO. We're forming the NWO for those of you that are wrestling fans. We're forming the NWO because we can't say the Avengers because we are the villains of the league. So we can't call ourselves the Avengers. We're forming the NWO. This is going to be the Miami World Order. And I hope, or HWO, Heron World Order. There we go. We're going to call it the HWO. We're forming the HWO, the Heron World Order, and it's going to be fun. And I really, really, really hope, and shout out to you from Monaco. I really hope that Luis is on the money with all the things he's saying, because if Luis is on the money with the Defender of the Year, one of the best center defensive midfielders of the year, Moises and his brother, whoever the hell those guys are, I'm sure that they're good too. And then the Paraguayan kid, or if Luis is on the money with these things that he's saying, on top of what we already know is coming, oh man, we are the villains of the MLS, and it just feels so good to be us. Inter Miami is not just the best in the MLS. Inter Miami will soon be the best in CONCACAF. They're going to win the Champions Cup, and everybody is going to be so upset about it. But look, again, I can keep going, but I shouldn't. But if you really think about it, last year, when we were going into the season, and I'll end up with this. When we were going into the season last year, we didn't know much about Lujan. We didn't know much about Falcon. We were hoping that they would be good. We were hoping that Redondo would take a step up. Luis Suarez, we weren't sure if he was going to keep up his play. Coming into this season, I think the biggest question last year actually was Mascherano, right? Because we didn't know what Mascherano would bring. This year, I feel like we have proven players in a proven system. We're bringing the same system back. We're bringing the same coach back. And now Mascherano isn't a question mark anymore because he has now grown into his position. I genuinely believe that this team is set up to break a lot of records and to win multiple trophies. And I hate saying it just because I said it last year and we said that was the expectation, but the way this team ended the year last year, they're going into this year, and I understand Jordi Alba and Busquets, two huge losses, and that cannot be kind of glossed over. I get it, but Rodrigo De Paul, you would hope, can help fill some of that gap in the midfield, and Silbetti a lot of the attack that we're missing with Jordi Alba. I think this team is going to be good. I think this team could be great, and I think we have a very get ready because 2026 is going to be one hell of a year. Um, I can keep going on and on, but you know what? I'm going to save it because tomorrow, again, we're going to go in more into detail. And shout out to Lewis. Lewis, hit me up because I'd like to talk a little more with you. Hit me up in the DMs if you can. Because it's interesting what we got coming right now, and I do not doubt that this year is going to be a year for the ages. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock or after bedtime. I'll be back tomorrow night after bedtime, which should be around 9 o'clock. We'll set it up for 9:05 on there, but just know it might be a couple minutes late. Because we're gonna be talking, is this team better than last year's? And then we'll see what other news pops up. We'll see if any of Lewis's stuff actually comes to fruition and we start hearing about it from reporters. And yeah, we'll leave it there. I appreciate everybody joining me on a Sunday morning. I appreciate everybody that's joined me for the start of the 2026 season because we've had a few shows already this week. And honestly, it would be very, very difficult to do this show without you guys that join me live because doing it solo without Chris, one, it isn't as fun because obviously I have a great time with Chris. But also it's not easy just filibustering by yourself, even though talking to Miami is so easy because they're so fucking awesome. So, and I'm going to leave it here with this comment, SPH86, being the villains is far better. It's so fun being the villain. And then just, Lewis, from your text to God's ear, I hope that all of that stuff that you said comes true because just seeing the reaction from the rest of the fan base is going to be worth it. Even if they end up sucking on the pitch, just for the first couple of days after those announcements are made, it's going to be so freaking fun. This team will eclipse 80 points this year. Whew. So many things to look forward to. Appreciate everybody, but let's really back in real quick. Micael was the reason for this show. Micael, huge signing. Even if we don't get all the other people that Luis was throwing at us right now, Micael, absolutely huge signing. He has now going to form the best center back duo in the league next to Falco, and he gives us the size, he gives us the pace, the recovery speed. He's good on the ball. He's good with his feet. He can pass. He's left-footed. So many positives to the Micael signing. I know that I stopped talking about him about 20 minutes ago, so I want to make sure that I wrap it up with him. Huge signing, and it's on loan. It's on loan with the option to buy at the end of the year. So we're cooking. We're cooking. If you're an Inter Miami fan, you should be excited. And apparently, training camp starts in about 10 days. So you should be excited. There's a lot of big things coming. And this week, I have a big feeling that in the next 7 days, we're going to see a lot more signings and rumors and news. And Luis, we're going to have a checklist. I'm going to call it the Luis checklist. See that there on the side where it says 90 days until MFP? I'm going to have a little checklist there. I'm going to call it Luis, a.k.a. Adam Schefter's checklist. I'm going to put the names. I'm going to put a check mark to see how accurate you are. If it's a no-go, we're going to get a big X. Okay, Luis. So we're gonna count on you, and hopefully that you will be interested. And by the way, Obando will play a lot. Jesus Christ, Luis. All right, we're gonna end it with that. I know Chris would have a field day with that comment. and Obando is staying, and he's going to play a lot. We'll see. We need a DP, a striker, I guess. Again, I could go on for another 20 minutes, but we're gonna end it here. Again, make sure that you join us tomorrow night, 9:05, aka after bedtime. We'll be on here, and we'll be talking Micael. We'll be talking if this team is better than last year's, and catching up with Chris because he's been traveling the world. So we'll leave it there. Oh, and the new intro will be here tomorrow night. So until the next one, have a good one. Yeah, so that's a good point. Mr. Garcia saying, okay, so now he's trolling. Yeah, I think that Obando comment just completely just drained me. I had hope, Luis, that you were telling the truth, but now with the Obando comment, I don't know. Maybe okay. Maybe it was just the last 25 minutes was just a lot of nothing. Regardless, we'll be back tomorrow. So until the next one, have a good one.